Once established in consciousness, where the growth process truly begins. As Jesus Christ said, "Behold, all old things are gone away, and new things are established." And those things that are very hard, they are slowly scraped away out of your life. So it's going to take time, but it's the process of consciousness. It's a process of self-realization. And so self-realization is not an end. It's a continuous process of progression from lower levels to higher levels until we fully graduate away from this physical earth and move to where we truly belong. Our nature fine-tunes itself. We are fine-tuned. And the tuning is what is going to help us to be able to deal with all the hurdles in life and to be able to understand what is going on with the rest of our lives. So it's a mistake to believe that self-realization is an end. It's not. It is from this stage that we really begin the true journey of liberation. Absolute liberation. This is very important to understand before we delve into anything else. It's from this stage that one has a glimpse. At this point, when you attain self-realization, that you'll be able to have a glimpse of divine. You'll be able to have a glimpse of your divine nature. It is at this stage that you actually begin the process of attaining your divine nature again. You have just begun the process. You have just introduced yourself back into the root, into the process of becoming divine again. That is what we call self-realization. In the process, that one enjoys bliss. When you are back onto that journey, when you are back onto that route that leads to divine nature, you begin to experience bliss all the time because you are having a taste of who you are again. The glimpses are coming. You go into meditation, you enjoy it, you feel it, you sense it. Knowledge, abilities, things become easier and easier and easier as you walk, as you move forward. If your life is not getting easier and easier, you haven't begun the process of self-realization. And we will come to talk about life getting easier and easier. When we talk about life getting easier and easier, we are not talking about gathering material wealth and then feeling comfortable and thinking everything is getting easier. No. No, that's not what we're talking about here. Life gets easier when you begin to understand why things happen. Why is it happening? Why is that happening? When questions are easily answered, that's easy life. When questions are raised in the process of life and answers are coming in to fill the gap, life gets easier. You can answer questions. It's not by saying, hallelujah, I made $1 million today, so I'm moving forward. God is good. No, you're lying to yourself. I have self-realized that's why I can buy a plane. You are lying to yourself. Anyone can buy a plane. Just need to work a little bit smarter and harder. But not everyone will stand the heat of spiritual refinery. Some people take very long times. It's a war. It's a rebellion against yourself. Anyone who doesn't rebel against himself can never. You're not going to find liberation. There are volatile minds out there which we're going to talk about in the process of this. There are minds out there that don't just let you walk in and walk out. No. They know who you are. They know your constitution. They know your belonging. They know everything. How you've been programmed. And they don't want you to enjoy it. They want to twat it. They are jealous. They're not going to just sit there and just let you have that life without you taking it. That's not how it works in the spiritual world. That's not how it works in the physical world. Is that how it works in America? That you just sleep in your bed and everything comes? Don't you see everyone is fighting? You work to have it. So bliss consciousness will arrive when you begin the process of self-realization. You now understand that you have a business to accomplish on earth. Now you have the map in your hand. Now you begin to look into the map and follow the route. And you're getting excited. Where you want to relax, you sit down and cross your leg and say, I'm feeling a little bit exhausted. Let me just take time. Wake up. Keep going. And nature knows it very well that you need relaxation. You need the massage. You need to be pampered. It brings bliss into your life. And you keep going and you feel good. For those that do not understand it, they think you've arrived. You didn't arrive yet. When you arrive there, it's a whole new story. When you arrive at your destination, that story is very different. It's a story you don't know. You've forgotten about it a long, long time ago. Because you traveled a very long time ago. It has been a long journey since you left God the Father, the Godhead, the divine nature. The distance between Him and where you are right now. So really, the gap between you and your divine nature is so wide. That's why you have forgotten your true nature. You moved away from your new true nature. Light years upon light years upon light years, and you started traveling and dropping. Now you have arrived here. And all of a sudden, oh, whoa. What am I doing here? Where did I come from? Right there? Oh my God. How am I going to go there? Alright, where is my backpack? Begin a journey. It's exciting that time because you now understand you are awakened. You are no longer sleepwalking. You start sharing away all the bad habits. Hey, I don't need you. You jobs, you houses, you money, you evil, you wickedness, you jealousy, you hypocrisy. No, leave me alone. You are on your way. Self-realization on this earth plane. In the process, you enjoy this earth too, because now you understand fully what you are doing. You're on the right track. You're happy. The journey is tough. It's rough. But you find stability, you find a balance. And you are like, I'm going to do this. No, I'm not going to fall anymore. I understand this now. You are floating. Stability. You're walking, you're going. Slowly. You're navigating. You have the map in your hand. And there are fine toned spirits that you have attracted, because you begin now to attract like-minded spirits to support, to give you more guide. When you were ignorant, there were a lot of spirits that deal with ignorance that you participated in helping them to deal with their situation in a more negative way. Now that you've transitioned and now consciousness is coming, self-realization is setting in, consciousness is taking place. That changes too. You begin to attract like-minded spirits and minds and souls. The journey is very far away from here to God, to divine nature, but you are on your way because you have the map, and there are everywhere along the line, there are places of rest where you can find bliss, joy, happiness, abundance. At that point, one naturally realizes the gift of easily sliding into meditation. And then from there, that one will slip into bliss consciousness. Even when that one does not intend to. How does this work? I'll take an example, my own experience. When I sit and I am quiet and I'm doing nothing, I drift into bliss. My nature tunes into meditative mode and I begin to drift away into bliss consciousness. That is how beautiful that is. Because when you have worked on yourself, on your nerves and every part of your system until they become conscious, the old way is gone and the new recipes have taken place, your true nature will begin to manifest itself. And that true nature is bliss consciousness. And so when you sit quiet and you're inactive, you drift into bliss consciousness. It's a very, very exciting experience. An enlightened soul often struggle with living here, performing regular human activities, and at the same time has to attain to his blissful urges. I face them all the time. When you have an enlightened soul, one of the difficulties you will face is having to go to work, having to take care of family, having to take care of business, having to do this, having to do that. You have to meet all the needs of this physical earth. It's an obligation. But at the same time, your true blissful nature is always there, wanting to come in and just feel the gap, the vacuum, and that is so beautiful and so tempting. And that's why you see, I try to encourage my friends, folks, and devotees of my soul and I to really pay attention to those exercises that we have, because they open you up to this world that is so, you cannot explain it fully to anyone to fully understand. It's hard. But I know, I believe in you. I trust you. I know you will. I know one day you will understand this deeper and you'll be able to work with it and you have this experience. The nature of, the nature of man and everything is to be in a state of bliss. All of us, everything. Everything, the nature of everything is just to find peace, love, joy, harmony, abundance, stability. Everything. And we are not made to work and toil our entire lives for a living. Men supposed not to work for a living. We're supposed just to eat, drink, go down the river, fetch water, eat corn in the field, and just have life, relax, enjoy just like every other animal does. And even if we want to do anything, we do it for the pleasure of doing, not because we are obliged to. So we miss the point. We got the wrong recipe. We got the wrong recipe for life. And that hurt us. We are not made to work or to toil for a living. We see this in stones. We see this in trees and mountains. We see them in animals and even our pets. We see them in birds and rocks. These things are most often in a state of blissfulness. They just live and let live. Rocks, trees, mountains, and more, They just live and let live. They just stay there in a static state. A state of bliss consciousness. They are actively silent at times. Those that could be silent like the rocks, like the trees, like the mountains. Very silent. Silently listening to their nature, to the voice of their true nature at all times. Bliss consciousness is the observatory state where nature does nothing but observe. It sits there. Nature just sits and watch and listen. It's excited. So when one is enlightened, when you become an enlightened person, when you sit and you are doing nothing, an enlightened person will just sit. That person naturally drifts into meditation and blissfulness. The reason is because when you sit quiet and you're doing nothing and you are an enlightened person or you are used to meditation, all of a sudden you begin to listen to a sound in your inner ear. That sound is your nature, is the sound of your true nature. Everything has it. The birds, they have their own sound. The oceans, they have their own sound. The rivers, they have their own sound. The under mountains, they have their own sound. The high mountains, everywhere have vibration. And they manifest themselves. But they actively listen to that sound. Every element of nature that is not human finds time to actively just listen to that sound all the time. Because they understand the importance of it. When one begins to listen to that sound, it changes the dynamics of everything. Can take you easily into a meditative mood. That's why some of us go to the mountains, to the rocks, to the rivers, and sit there to listen to some of the sound, or just to take in the vibration and then meditate. It's because this nature is capable of mastering and monitoring and using the environment and those sounds to its own advantage. Understand it. Use it. Bliss consciousness is an observatory state where nature does nothing but to observe. Sit there. All it does is just meditate. Meditate. Blissfulness. Quiet. When I sat for these few seconds, I was lost. When an enlightened person sits and is doing nothing, that person naturally drifts into meditation and blissfulness. The person has activated God nature in himself. That person has activated God nature within that comes to provide comfort, a livelihood, and pleasure, abundant pleasure. When that person is less active, when that person is quiet, when that person is calm, doing nothing, if he or she is less active in other things, God nature sets in, blissfulness, and it's a wonderful experience. It's a wonderful thing to be able to hold that tool in your hand, that you know that every time you just sit and you are relaxing and all of a sudden you see yourself sinking at the deeper level of your own life. That is, no money can buy that. No amount of money will pay for that. I can guarantee that. You know, because it brings peace. It brings joy. It brings stability. It brings you to a central focal point where every time you can revisit yourself and reorganize yourself every time you want. There is nothing that will pay for that. No money can buy that. Into when one gives his nature, that one attains blissfulness. When you give in everything, you give in your effort, you give everything to observe. Sit quiet. No distractions. Just sit. That one attains blissfulness. And to the best of my knowledge, to the best of what I know, to the best of my experience, I have not seen or experienced any pleasure that is better than moments when one is absorbed into his own self, into himself, totally absorbed without any little distraction. It's an amazing experience. It's beautiful where one is fully absorbed in himself, that one is distanced from everyone else and in his divine nature, and find his divine nature. The feeling that ensues, the feeling, the beauty, the feeling that ensues at that state has no comparison here on earth. I have not seen it. I have not seen it anywhere. The feeling you derive when you attain bliss consciousness, there is nothing that can be compared with it. Nothing at all. That is why it is called bliss. That is why its name is bliss. You have the ability, you sitting there, I'm talking to you right now, you have the ability to attain bliss consciousness right now where you are sitting. We see that our modern society gives us the wrong recipe for life. They give us the wrong recipe for happiness. We have to work to enjoy. Humans do suffer because they yearn this state of bliss consciousness. They yearn for this state of blissfulness and do not arrive there, even though it is in their own nature. And that causes pain, causes suffering. So it causes a feeling of pain when we cannot arrive at that point where we feel satisfied about our lives, about what we are doing, what we want to achieve. Causes pain and suffering. Is it not true that when one wants something and works so hard for it and finally does not have it, that one feels painful? Is it not true that the greatest feeling of suffering and pain is when one works very hard for good relationships and happiness with people and it fails to yield results? Is it not one of the greatest pain that we go through in this life? If you have gone through divorce, separation from a loved one, you certainly know what I'm talking about, don't you?